nerds, welcome to another episode of the Nerd Rundown podcast, where we cover the latest in the nerd world of movies, TV, and more. I'm your host today, Darren Stemple. You all know my co-pilot, Eric Hare.
At last we meet, Darren, for the first time, for the last time. Let's try.
I don't even have anything yet.
You have about 3 seconds. And you also know our other co-host, Morgan Santo.
Opposite of deuces.
Number one.
Yeah. I mean, deuces is goodbye. What is hello?
Yeah.
And Meg Bradbury.
Signature intro.
Hey.
Just trying it.
Little finger guns there. Per the usual, you can find us on our social media like Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, all at the Nerd Rundown. While you're there, please hit the like and subscribe buttons if available and leave a comment. We love interacting with everybody who does that. So see you there. You can also listen to us on all the other major podcast services like Spotify and all the others. I could not literally think of any more.
The other ones.
Yeah, the other ones. Yeah, I don't even think Spotify's their biggest one. Well, man, we have a fantastic show for you all today. Obviously going to cover some of the biggest news items from the past week on the rundown. And we'll cap off the show with a really crowded NRDbox, all about family in the NRDbox.
Family.
But first, on the rundown, I have waited all week this week for the show so we can finally get to talking about the Thor Love and Thunder trailer. I expect us to just nerd out for a little bit, so I apologize to everybody. Oops, I don't know what that is, but it's all about that Thor Love and Thunder. I'm going to pass it off right to you, Eric. Who's bringing the love? Who's bringing the thunder?
I think it's going to be Thor is actually bringing the love. It looks like he's looking longingly into Star-Lord's eyes.
That was one of the. I was like, I have laughed. I've watched that trailer like 20 times this week at least, and I've laughed every single time.
So funny. It looks gorgeous. Like I that's the first thing that struck me was just how beautiful it looked. You know, like there was a ton of stuff that to unpack as far as all the different things that are kind of going into it and everything, but man, it was gorgeous. Like just the artwork that they did, the sets and stuff like that just looks phenomenal.
It's partly shot in the volume, which is what the Mando is shot in. So it's not all green screen, which is why it looks so beautiful.
Yeah. Well, all in all, it looked really, really spectacular. It looks funny. I mean, I would expect nothing less from Taika and from Hemsworth. You know, those guys they do a great job. You know, and having Chris Pratt in there and that crew is going to be great too. I'm not sure. You know, we'll see how much they're in this. You know, I don't know.
First act is my guess.
Yeah, probably first act. Or, you know, maybe bring him back at the end or something like that. But we'll see. We got to see Natalie Portman. And I was like, I was not expecting, like, I mean, I knew she was, I knew that she had been rumored to be in, but I was not expecting that particular scene, you know, to kind of take place. So I'm kind of curious how that's going to go. There's some stuff going on with his axe, Stormbreaker. Definitely some cool stuff happening there. So yeah, it looks phenomenal. Like I am jacked for this one. But behind Top Gun Maverick, this might be the one I'm most looking forward to. I do want to see, not that I don't like Doctor Strange or anything. I do want to see that. I think that looks super cool. And that one feels very cerebral, and I think I'll enjoy that. But holy smokes, this movie looks like it's just going to be a ride, and it's going to be a blast.
feel you on that. Like my hype for Doctor Strange is at a 10, but this trailer like shot this to a 10.5 for me. Like this is now my most anticipated movie of the summer. I'm an MCU nerd, so it's easy for that to happen. But God, this thing.
Right.
Well, I feel like looking at the lineup as things are kind of breaking for this particular year, and it's not surprising since a lot of stuff has been in the can for a while.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's been a lot of good content in the can for a while. 2022 is going to go down as like a 1996 when it comes to movies. Like it's just going to be banger after banger after banger, month after month, you know, and and it's just going to continue. I mean, it's going to be a good year for movies. It's going to be a really good year. So
for sure. And we'll get to actually I have a question for you all when we get to later on in the rundown. So be thinking about what your most hotly anticipated movie is. But Meg, what stood out from this trailer for you the most?
I mean, I probably the music. I loved
so
it.
Awesome.
Just
like the whole time.
Just talking about the look of it, like looking at the poster, like it's just so 80s, and it just feels so. It's so exciting.
It's
and
so
now
metal.
It's so
it feels like a Saturday morning cartoon come to
Yeah, it kind of does. So I'm looking at the cast right now, and I see Matt Damon as actor Loki and Sam Neill as actor Odin, and I'm really excited about Melissa Carthy because she's actor Hela.
And Hela,
so I can't wait to see what that little
that'll
thing
be good.
is about.
Yeah, that'll be good.
It's a little bit of a reprisal from Ragnarok.
Right.
It didn't have Hela in there obviously at that point, but can't wait to see what they do with the play this time around.
Especially with Melissa McCarthy. She's just loading.
Like that.
So good.
Like, oh my gosh.
She's the queen. She's the queen of the awkward. It's like putting you into an awkward situation, you know, where you're like, oh, cringe. Like,
right. Yeah, she's so good. Yeah. So I'm not a giant Guns N' Roses fan, but man, Sweet Child of Mine is probably my favorite GNR song. And like just when it hit the the boat took off the water, I was like, this is my shit right here.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Morgan, my theory brother, what were some of the crazy theories you heard from this past week from the trailer?
I haven't heard anything crazy, I would say, but I think the one that's going around that I'm believing is this is kind of Thor's last movie. Like he's hanging it up, he's retiring, and it could be Natalie Portman taking the place. That she's not just going to be a cool little multiverse thing or whatever, but she's going to be the one taking the spot. But I'm pumped. I mean, it's going to be good. We didn't get any God Killer in it.
Nope.
Which
I'll get to that in a second.
But there was some dead gods that we saw, and we got to see Olympia and Zeus. It looks like that was pretty cool.
To see Russell
Crowe. So I'm really excited for that and how that all is going to go. And I think Guardians of the Galaxy first act, that's it, and then they're going to leave him because he's trying to do this peaceful life. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So do you think in one of the clips, this is a technical question for you guys. In one of the clips, it looks like they use Stormbreaker as a tombstone, like it's in the ground, like it's used as a tombstone type thing. So do you think that's Thor in the ground? Do you think they kill him off or
no? I think it's him burying that.
Yeah,
kind of like planting.
It's like a burying the hatchet scene, like a literal hatchet, because it's but here's a kind of a rundown on Thor: Love and Thunder. So we pick up pretty much shortly after Endgame. So if you remember at the end of Endgame, he says goodbye to Valkyrie. He says, Asgard is yours. So we get to see King Valkyrie in this trailer with
all the cruise ships.
She looks bored as hell.
Yeah, right.
And New Asgard's turned into this big tourist.
We got to see that slug thing in a suit.
Destination. Yeah. Part of that tourist destination is where Hela broke Mjolnir in Ragnarok. They dug around it and they created this like shrine for Mjolnir. Jane Foster is going to visit New Asgard because she gets diagnosed with cancer. she's gonna go like, all right, I'm like on my last dying trip, and I'm gonna go see New Asgard because I used to bang Thor. So
makes sense.
at some point, yeah,
that's what I would do.
Right.
Back to that old flame.
Yeah, it is. So at what we don't really know quite yet is why Mjolnir decides to reforge itself and attach itself to Jane Foster, and why she becomes the mighty Thor. What we do know from the movie though is Thor is part of the Asgardians of the galaxy. He becomes Ravager Thor. He doesn't really fit in though with that group, and so you can see he's not getting the love from the Guardians that he needs. And so he's like, you know what, maybe my superhero days are over. I'm just going to go off and be a pirate, whatever it is. He, meditates, finds himself in the sun, which is a really cool callback to Loki's line in Endgame about the sun will shine on us again, brother. And at some point, there's this character out there called Gore. He's played by the amazing Christian Bale. He's a very religious person, and he prays to the gods. And in the comics, his family dies, even though he's been praying to the gods. So that old story of like, why pray? Why have faith? It's actually very like theological question, that we don't need to get into here. But Gore says, you know what? I prayed to the gods. They didn't save my family. He goes and acquires this amazing sword. I'm drawing a blank. It's like the Dark Blade or something. It's actually in the comics. It's created by King Null, who's the king of the symbiotes.
There's a rumor that's the sword that was at the end of Eternals.
Well, and here's the thing why I don't believe that is because Venom and the symbiotes are owned by Sony, and they cannot, unless Spider-Man is in the movie, can't really bring in any Sony property. We know that's not true because what's his name hasn't leaked anything yet. So in any interviews.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom Holland?
Yeah, because he can't keep a secret.
Blabbermouth Tom Holland? Yeah. Anyway, so Gore goes on this amazing like killing spree of gods. You see an amazing shot in this trailer that is a literal recreation of the comic, except for this time they've added Gore in a different suit for Thor. Oh my gosh, I knew I was going to do this. Falconort. Oh man,
I can't remember.
I know. That's gonna kill me. Anyway, it's that like big beast looking guy. He's an actual god. He's killed by Gore. Thor starts seeing Gore go through on this killing spree. Who knows? Maybe he goes to Olympia and kills Zeus. And his like mission in life now is to kill every god. So now Thor has to kind of put his cape back on and save the day.
The reluctant hero.
Yeah, the reluctant hero. So he teams up with the mighty Thor, Jane Foster, teams up with Korg, of course, and King Valkyrie.
Hopefully they print up enough flyers.
Yeah.
Thor, Jane, Korg, Valkyrie. Yeah, it's going to be those four as like the main heroes of the story. And I cannot wait to see how this plays out. Everything Taika does is just gold, and his humor is just so right up my alley.
Yeah.
But that in shot where Jane catches Mjolnir and the way she brings it down that is one of the most badass trailer shots I've ever seen, and it's I can't wait to see how they play this out. I've got full faith, and I'm pumped as hell. So. I could talk about this trailer all day long. Anybody else have anything else they wanted to add?
His sword is called All Black, the Necro Sword.
All Black, the Necro Sword. Right. Yeah. Thank you. I knew it was like black, dark, something. Anyway, I don't know if it'll be the symbiote sword, unfortunately. Palgor? No, I can't. Man, it's going to... That'll come into my brain as soon as I stop recording. Yeah, as soon as we stop recording. But that is a really cool recreation of the comic, and that comes from the amazing 100, almost 100 issue run, written by Jason Aaron, called Thor: God of Thunder, and this is like a big adaptation of that storyline with Gore and with the mighty Thor, Jane Foster. So I'm looking forward to it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Next on the rundown, also very exciting news in the Star Wars world. Anybody say that 10 times fast? 10 times fast? Star Wars news in the world of Star Wars. Okay, that might be better. Natalie Holt, who scored Loki, is scoring Obi-Wan Kenobi. Now, one caveat to this, John Williams was rumored to come back and score Obi-Wan. He did not. However, what he did do is he's created an Obi-Wan Kenobi theme, because that was the only legacy character he never created a theme for, which is really crazy. And he made the joke. He's like, old Benny died too early on in A New Hope. So it was not Volstagg the Valiant. So Volstagg actually was a character, part of the Warriors 3, Meg, who they would kill off in Ragnarok, but they were bigger characters in the first couple Thor movies.
Okay.
But thank you for keeping on.
I'm trying to Google.
No, it's okay. I'll remember it before the end of the show, or I'll look it up. Anyway, so John Williams created an Obi-Wan Kenobi theme for this show. He says it's one of his best themes he's ever created. So I'm really excited to see John Williams score a theme for Obi-Wan. But Natalie Holt killed it with the Loki theme, with the Loki score. It's a score I still listen to this day every once in a while. So this is big news for like movie score nerds like Eric and myself. So I'm going to actually start with a non-movie score nerd. Yeah, Morgan, non-movie score nerd you are. Does this movie do anything for you other than...
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a big score nerd, so like, I mean, it's all right with me. I have no issue with it. I have no real excitement. I'm sure it's going to be good.
Okay.
I don't think they would let it slide. So
okay. So Meg, did the Loki theme resonate with you?
Probably not quite to the depth that it did to you.
Easy.
But no, I mean, it was good, and it really fit the show, and it fit the mood really well. So I think she's going to do great. But yeah, it's not one of those things that like raises goosebumps or anything. But
does me. It does.
I was going to say not for me. I know it does for you, but
yeah.
My man, Eric, what do you think?
I like the torch passing, if you will. I mean, I don't know if she's going to be the main score writer going forward.
No.
But I think, John Williams has been a staple of the whole Star Wars franchise since pretty much the very beginning. So, and his theme is legendary. I mean, you can play that anywhere in the world and people are going to know exactly what you're talking about, like right away. So, So I'm excited to hear what John has put together as far as writing it, but I think she's going to do a great job of scoring the rest of the show and kind of watching that. I'm interested to see what kind of variation she has, because I mean, we've only gotten what I would consider to be a sample, with Loki, and she did great with it. So, I have confidence that she'll be fine with Obi-Wan Kenobi, but I'm cautiously optimistic, I guess, is what I more would say. But if she knocks it out like she did with Loki, I think it's gonna be super great. Loki was so cool, like the way she played the music and the way it kind of went along with this whole like basic government building function of everything. Like everything is just there's no like aesthetic to it other than it's just like, okay, if the Soviets had won the Cold War, like that's what everything would be like. Like everything is just like this,
bureaucracy.
Right. Like there's no flair to anything. And her music played really well into that world, I think, and kind of gave it like this 1950-ish kind of B movie sci-fi, but not over the top. Like it was just the right amount. And so I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed her Loki. And so I imagine that she'll probably, at least I hope, give the fans kind of what they want, because, with Mandalorian, he's a new character, so he doesn't subscribe to the same music as the rest of the franchise normally does, but if you're gonna bring back a legacy character, it's probably going to have, or at least a portion of it is going to have to play into that classical big orchestra stuff, so she's going to have to figure out a way, and maybe that's her style, maybe that's not her style, I'm not sure. So she's going to have to try and figure out how to move her, or move that, move it into her wheelhouse. Instead of playing what she thinks people want to hear for like a John Williams theme, she's going to have to make it her own. And I think, and I have confidence that she'll do it. Like I said, I'm cautiously optimistic, but I mean, you and I are score nerds. So that's, most people are going to listen to it. They're not really going to think twice about it. And that's great. Honestly, that's great, because, a score can really take something that's really good and take it to me, can really take it to like the next level. Like anytime you hear that song, like the Harry Potter theme or whatever, you're like, oh, it gives you that feeling. That music gives you that feeling back, even for just a fraction of a second or whatever. You're like, oh, I love Harry Potter, or oh, I love Star Wars, or Indiana Jones. Right. Oh man, it's just like it gives you that feeling. So I think she'll be fine. She'll be able to do that. I think she'll be able to do that with ObiWan. I think she'll be able to take it and at least not make it distracting. I think that is probably the, I don't want to say that's the bar, but sure. So anyhow, that's where I'm at.
I'll say this. She's a violinist. So she says her like style is more orchestral. Yeah. And so she'll be, and she grew up idolizing John Williams, so that plays into it.
Gosh, this is gonna be a dream come true for her.
I know, right? Can you imagine something like that?
Be a dream come true for me.
Right. Can I just meet him? Star Wars music never misses. And even when, say, Michael Giacchino took over for the sequel franchise,
right?
It was still great. It was actually phenomenal, and maybe up there with some of the best. Even I forget who did Rogue One, but they did a fantastic job with that movie. And he did it in a way you could feel like it was in the Star Wars music world, but it didn't copy what John
right.
So that was great. And I'll say this, that Natalie Holt did such a great job with Loki that was almost a complaint from people, like, oh, the score is actually carrying the show, which could be debatable. I mean, I don't think that was the case. Complaint.
Yeah. I don't think that was the case, but okay. Okay.
Right. I'm like, I don't see that as a complaint. However, I'm excited.
Right.
Looking forward to more. She's actually doing Batgirl for HBO Max as well. So her work on Loki is getting her more work. So get it, girl.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Next on the rundown, Fandango released their list for the most anticipated list of movies for the summer only. So it's like a top 5. I'm sure they did more than that, but what I have is the top 5, and that is 1, Doctor Strange, 2, Thor: Love and Thunder, 3, Jurassic World Dominion, 4, Top Gun Maverick, and 5, Minions: The Rise of Gru. Okay, so I'm going to open it up with you, Meg. top 3 most anticipated movies of the summer, and then let me know if you think Minions should be on that list as well.
I know Minions is on there for my son and daughter. They both are obsessed with the Minions. I don't know what it is, but they love them.
Eric is a Minion. Or wait, you knew yours Gru.
I think
Your
Thor
dog is leaving little
my
bombs in my yard, and I don't appreciate it.
That's a really good.
I think that's
really
a good opener sometime.
I know Steve Carell was here.
Yeah, so Thor is my top. That I think is going to be a babysitter movie. I'm going to work really hard to get a babysitter secured for that one.
Plan now.
And then, man, probably Jurassic World, then Doctor Strange, then Top Gun, and I would have bumped Lightyear up and bumped Minions down.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Eric?
Similar to Meg, I would bump out the Minions, and I would bump it for Lightyear. I'm really excited to see Lightyear. Not that I don't like the Minions, but we've gotten a couple of Minions already, and it's kind of, I would say, played out, but my kids will want to see it and I'll go see it. So that's going to happen. And then I would probably put Doctor Strange at number 4 for me.
Okay.
I have Jurassic World at number 3.
Okay.
And then I have Thor: Love and Thunder at number 2, and then Top Gun Maverick is my number 1. So
solid list.
Yep.
Solid list.
But honorable mention in there, coming this summer is going to be that Bullet Train, and they have it in their list. I think they've got it at number 9. I think that looks pretty neat. I really do. I think that looks like that one could be a lot of fun. Yeah. And then I would imagine, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple of sleepers that people aren't expecting
hopefully,
to come out.
Hopefully
will get dropped this summer that may kind of surprise people. So, but it's a pretty stacked lineup for a summer. All starts here in about a week, 2 weeks, I guess. May 6th is when things get going. So,
yeah. Well, and that was a question I had is, can I just put in Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent?
Yeah, right. I mean, why not?
It needs to be in my top 5. I know it comes out either this week or next week.
It's out, I think, already.
Yeah, is it out?
Is it come out this weekend?
Because I looked to see we're potentially having a date night tomorrow, so we might actually get to
yes.
First one in like 3 years, pretty much.
Man.
Well, you won't go wrong with going to see Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. So
yeah, I think the showing I'm going to be able to catch though is like 10 o'clock. So doing some extra coffee tomorrow night too.
Sounds awesome. Morgan, what's your list?
Yeah, I don't really have a top 5.
Okay.
I've got the top 4 here because I'm just thinking beyond this top 4 here. There isn't anything that I'm really like, yes, I can, I got to see it. I can't wait to see it. But for me, my number 1 is actually Jurassic World Dominion. I'm really looking forward to that. Plus my son loves the Jurassic World stuff. So I'm looking forward to
taking him to that movie too. Huh?
Oh yeah. Yeah, he doesn't cry anymore when the dinosaurs die. He's over that, so he's ready now. Yep, see, he's growing. He's
got them dinosaur scales on now.
Yeah. I have Top Gun Maverick number 2.
Okay.
Thor number 3. Doctor Strange number 4.
Okay. I will put Thor at number 1, Doctor Strange at 1B. And like it's hard to pick between that. It's probably a good thing that Doctor Strange hasn't come out yet, or else I would probably just be dying for Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
But looking at all 5, like at least of those top 5 or top 6 movies, at least the top 5, it's like real close. I mean, it's really close. Like you could throw a dart.
That's why I'd say 1B for Doctor Strange.
You could throw a dart. And I'm like, yep, love to see that one. Any other summer, that would be the number 1 movie of the summer. And
seriously.
Yeah, but
I know it's going to be crazy to see what kind of numbers Doctor Strange can do versus Thor, and I hope that I hope that they just do $2 billion each. I hope all these movies do great. I want, like we said last week, all movies need to do well. If all movies do well, it's good for the industry.
Well, speaking of that, I don't want to derail it too much, but we've had this conversation before. But there was some big news that came out this week, and maybe I'm going to kind of skip ahead, maybe not skip ahead, but talk about just things a little bit. So some gigantic news from Netflix. They lost subscribers for the second quarter in a row. So that's bad news for the streaming folks, because it shows that there's that they're not indestructible, and that they're not, and then in the span of like 3 weeks, CNN Plus, which was supposed to be like this new thing, folded up shop because they didn't get anybody. Nobody signed up for this thing. So we're starting to see some cracks in the armor of these streaming services, which is only good for movie theaters. For us as people who are big movie theater fans, I think that these streaming services have kind of been dancing on the graves of these, putting these theater chains in the grave already. And it's like, wait a minute, people still want to see stuff in the theater. They still want to go experience it with a crowd and have popcorn and get out of the house. People have been cooped up for 2 years now, and they've been stuck in their homes. They want to go to a movie, they want to get out. They want to go have dinner with their husband, like Meg. It's a couple of years since she's been out. So she wants to go have dinner, have a few drinks, probably get a little silly, and then go watch a movie. And that's how things are going to be. So I think this summer is going to be, I think, a real defining moment for whether or not theaters can get back into the game. And I think they're going to with this lineup. I really, really think that that's going to happen. So we'll see.
I did not have that in the rundown. I thought about putting that in the rundown, but I was like, man, I don't know how to tie that into what we're talking about. So great job to you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Yeah,
good job.
That was good.
Freaking fantastic point. Like, this could be, and who's going to be at the front of it? Marvel Studios. This
Absolutely.
could be a defining summer for theaters.
And I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happier that they're the ones doing it.
And neither could the theater gods, because they're
right.
I mean, if this was Warner Brothers, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, Universal is right there with them. Universal's right there with them with Jurassic World and the Minions. That's going to be
right.
And you've got Disney is represented with Lightyear, and then Paramount has Top Gun. So all the big studios, for the most part, all the big studios, with the exception of Warner Brothers, has but Warner Brothers already had a gigantic hit in the
gigantic hit.
So
gigantic.
And later on this summer, and I think things that we're missing is, when are we getting Black Adam? Is that in the fall?
They got pushed to the fall. They got pushed to the fall.
So we're looking at Black Adam later in the year. So and
that might be a banger of a move for Warner Brothers, moving that to the fall.
Yeah. So I mean, we've got lots and lots and lots of stuff. And then what we were talking about, maybe Avatar, maybe getting an Avatar this year, or maybe 2. Is that going to be this year?
I thought it's coming in December.
I
think it's coming for Christmas.
Yeah. Which is typical of Cameron. That's like his release time. Titanic came out in like November or December and played till like March, or whatever.
2020. We need to probably do a show around the winter, the holiday season of theater movie, because you look at this and you're like, damn, wait till you see the calendar for November, December. It is, it's going to be unbelievable. And so we're in for a treat. Great job, Eric. That was a huge value add. Right there. That was awesome. I'll actually just kind of switch it up while we're on the topic of Netflix. On the rundown, we did get a first look at another Chris Hemsworth movie. This one coming from Netflix, a psychological thriller called Spiderhead, with Chris Hemsworth.
It's not Chris Pine.
It's not Chris Pine.
It's the other Chris.
Skarsgård.
But this is coming from director Joseph Kosinski, who is the director on new Top Gun movie. So he's got some
Miles Teller
some
from
stuff
Top Gun
in the work, as well as Miles Teller being in this movie. And so what do you think about you don't know much. We didn't get a trailer, but it was a first look. Psychological thriller from this director, Eric. He's also put out some other bangers. Are you excited for this?
Yeah. Okay. It's Netflix. So, okay. But if Kaczynski's running it, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt because the dude has not missed. As far as I'm concerned, the dude has not missed.
Right.
Like on anything that he's done, he has been just amazing. I know it wasn't a big hit. I know that it wasn't what everybody expected, but Tron Legacy was probably one of the most gorgeous movies I've ever seen. It was just, the soundtrack was, the score was amazing.
So that may have carried the movie.
Yeah.
In a way.
The visuals in
yeah.
Tron Legacy were just gorgeous. I mean,
gorgeous.
The everything about that. Oblivion was, again, Tom Cruise sci-fi. Highly underrated movie. Like I love Oblivion. The whole opening sequence that of that movie is just amazing, and it's
came out of like it was like, oh my god, this is an amazing movie.
And then I play that as a demo. I actually, Tron Legacy and Oblivion both are in my rotation whenever I bring somebody into the house and like demo the theater for them. I'm like, I gotta watch this. But then Only the Brave, which is kind of went under the radar. Like not a lot of people saw that one, but that one is a wonderfully done, amazingly cast.
My gosh, you want? I mean, I don't know if we should give that away. Like
don't ruin
it.
It's a true story. It's a true story, and it's heartbreaking. And it's
about the California firefighters.
Phoenix. It's actually
Prescott. Okay, Phoenix. I know what you're talking about.
It's a Prescott, Arizona hotshot fire crew.
Josh Brolin.
Is that Miles Teller in that?
Miles Teller's in
that.
Yep.
And
Jennifer Connelly.
Riggs. Not Riggs. Riggs. Gosh,
Taylor Kitsch. Yep, it's a great cast, and then now you're looking at Tom Cruise, him and Tom Cruise hooking up again with Miles Teller and Jennifer Connelly again in the Top Gun Maverick. So I am excited for this just because the plot of the movie sounds really, really cool. So it's a state-of-the-art penitentiary that's run by Hemsworth's character, and they've got some sort of device.
I've got it right here.
Yeah, like Running Man style that gets attached to each prisoner, and they can control them through like drugs or some nonsense or whatever. So
this is in a state-of-the-art penitentiary run by brilliant visionary Steve Abnesti. Inmates wear a surgically attached device that administers dosages of mind-altering drugs in exchange for commuted sentences. There are no bars, no cells, or orange jumpsuits. In Spiderhead, incarcerated volunteers are free to be themselves until they're not. At times, they're a better version. Need to lighten up, there's a drug for that. At a loss for words, there's a drug for that too. But when two subjects, Jeff Miles Teller and Lizzie Journey Smollett, form a connection, their path to redemption take a twister turn as Abnesti's experiments start to push the limits of free will altogether. It's based on a book by George Saunders.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a pretty good book. Yeah, it sounds good to me. It sounds very sci-fi-ish and very like the psychological thriller part of it. I always enjoy those. So
for sure.
It had me at the genre bending and darkly funny psychological thriller. So that had me.
Gotta have that dark humor.
Especially the darkly funny part, man.
Yes.
Nick's got a wicked sense of humor.
Wicked. Definitely. I love it. Yeah. Morg, is this one on your radar as well?
Yeah, I'm not going to say I'm excited or not excited. I just want to see more before I get, too hyped. I'll say it's leaning in the right direction, with what it's got going on for it. But I'd like to see something before I'm like, I'm ready.
Cool. Next on the rundown, we have Streets of Rage, the old video game from Sega Genesis. Is being developed into a live action film. from Derek Kolstad, who wrote John Wick. So got some promising talent behind it. We know how we feel about video game movies. Morgan, you excited to see our Streets of Rage live action film?
No, I'm not. I mean, it's got at least, John Wick going for it, but like, I just don't know what they're going to do with it. And I'm sure they're going to do they're just getting the name. That's all. They're just getting the name and they're just going to do whatever they want with it. But I'm not excited. I'm not excited at all. I think it's
Eric,
gonna be a flop.
did you ever get to play Streets of Rage?
Yeah, I mean, I played it on the Sega when it came out, but I don't remember the game. I don't remember. I mean, it was a forgettable game, like it wasn't like Killer Instinct. Like when the Killer Instinct came out on the Genesis, I mean, that game was awesome. And but Streets of Rage was not really anything that I care about. So I don't know. I like John Wick. I liked those movies. I thought they were super cool, very throwbackish to like the 80s, 90s action stuff. So, relentlessly mind-numbing action stuff, but
sure.
So we'll see. We'll see where it goes.
Meg, does the writer of John Wick get you excited for Streets of Rage?
I mean, that part does, but this isn't really on my radar at all at this point.
Yeah, it's a video game that wanted to be Street Fighter, and it could never be as good as Street Fighter. So we can't get a good Street Fighter movie. So what makes us think that we're going to get a good Streets of Rage live action film?
Yeah.
Nothing. Next on the rundown, we have some casting news. Jason Mamoa has been cast as the lead in a Minecraft movie. So I'm going to go back to Morgan, because I know his son plays Minecraft. I don't know what is Minecraft, first of all, and how are they going to make a movie about it, Morgan?
Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Unless you're under 10.
Yeah.
Is this supposed to be animated or is it going to be?
Yeah. So it depends on what
live action.
Live action will be interesting. I just don't get how they would do it live action.
But like Marvel's that's live action, but it's really not. It's a lot of animation.
Yeah, it's a survival game is what its core was. It was a survival game where you got to build shelter and do all that. But you can do so much in it and be so creative and build things. Like there's people who have literally built functional computers within the Minecraft game. So you could hop around and type and it was like a computer. There's a lot you can do with it, and people can edit it and you can go to their levels and do stuff. So it's huge. It's got a big following. I know I'm going to have to watch this freaking movie when it comes out, but
same.
I'm looking forward to it.
It'll be in the rotation, and I'll be watching more of Jason Momoa than I really want to.
Yep.
So,
my
wife will. I guarantee that my wife will be bugging us to see that opening night. Though.
Yeah.
So sure.
Hey, do you want to go see the Minecraft?
We need to go. See this Minecraft. The kids love Minecraft.
Yeah.
We really need to go see this. I'm like, all right, I know what you're doing here. I realize he's on your list. Okay. But, on the free pass list.
So Eric, is it's a babysitter? No, I'm joking.
Yeah, that'll definitely be a babysitter. No, that will not be. That'll be a family night.
Free family.
Yeah, that'll be a family night. Plus, my wife's boyfriend's going to be coming with us. So.
Meg, is this babysitter movie, or is this?
No, not even with Jason Mamoa. He's not, I don't know. I get the appeal, but it's not for me. He just looks like bad decisions. So no, not on my list. Not interested really. Although I am curious to see how it's done, because I know the premise of the game from the, students that I've worked with and stuff that talk about it. It's a game that I probably would have played or would be playing now if I had more time. But so I'm interested to see how the movie's going to turn out, but I'm not making time to see it.
I get you. I don't think I will. Thank goodness Penny's not into that. I always thought Minecraft. Go ahead, Eric.
Well, I was just going to say, it's kind of crazy because it really kind of is a challenge for me as a parent, because it's not a video game like like a Street Fighter or like a fighting game like that. And that's where the real problem I think runs in is they have so much creativity, like tonight earlier before the show, Jackson was playing it and he goes, "Hey Dad, come check out my house I built." And I go in there and he's built this entire house. He's got a pen for his donkey. He's got, he's got a 2-story home that he's built with a bedroom upstairs. And then he's got an attic and he says, "This is my furnace and this is my crafting table." And, and I mean, the dude has made this like amazing place and he's 6. I'm like, holy smokes, I'm like,
Yeah.
This is crazy, dude. Like I'm super proud of him, and then they'll watch like YouTube videos and recreate what other people make. The people will show them like step by step how to build this stuff. And so then they'll build it. And I always try to encourage them to be creative on their own. But, if they want to build somebody else's thing, I think that's fine too, but I always try to encourage them like, hey, do this, like be your own and do your own stuff. So it's hard because I'm like, I want to restrict screen time, but at the same time, I want to encourage their creativity and not have to worry about, this or that. What's really neat is like Jack has gone, his kid's imagination is incredible. Him and Amelia both they've taken Amazon boxes or boxes, that we have, and they do Minecraft in real life. They color the things and then they're like crafting table and all this other stuff. So it's like, it's really neat. So, I kick them out of the house. I'm like, get out of here. And they're like, all right, let's go play Minecraft in real life.
Maybe that's what the movie will be like.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
That's I love that story. It's amazing. Like I played with Legos at 6 and I built a little gun.
Right.
You would have been suspended from school for that now, but
it's a very different time. I always thought Minecraft was the game that you played on your computer in the 90s when you had either like solitaire or there was a like
Minesweeper. Yeah.
But
it didn't like compute in my head that those were not the
3D pinball. 3D pinball.
3D, yeah.
I'm so pissed at that one still.
Still salty.
Wait, no, that was Morgan who won that one.
Well, I don't know. Grumpy.
Right? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I got that one.
Point stealer.
Yes, that's right.
3D pinball.
They'll have to figure out a way to take his shirt off too, and it's going to be weird. So,
sure,
especially for you, trailer train, hopping on the official Lightyear trailer released this past week, which really gave us a good idea of what's going to happen in this movie. Go around the horn. Start with you, Meg, real quick. What did you think of the final trailer for Lightyear? And obviously, it's like up on your hype list, so I'm sure you liked it.
Yeah, no, I definitely did. It's definitely up there. And I watched it on my laptop with the headphones, which makes a huge difference. Just that immersive experience. But it took me way too long to figure out that it was Chris Evans' voice. And then Taika's voice immediately. I was like, that's got to be him. So I'm really excited for this because I laughed out loud a couple times in the trailer. And I don't know, that little robot cat is super creepy, but I'm ready for it. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah. I forgot Taika was in it. Eric, did this trailer make you a little more excited for it?
I wouldn't say I was already pretty hyped. So this movie just looks great. Disney, Pixar, and all that stuff. They have a great track record. So I'm llooking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the kids seeing it. And a little bit selfishly, I'm excited to see it because I love the Toy Story stuff. So it's going to be kind of neat to find out like how Lightyear, I know we hit on it all the time, the whole, it's the backstory for a character I really don't care to know, but nobody was going, oh man, tell me more about Lightyear. But honestly, I'm like, okay, it's a safe way to get more of that character, and sell more Lightyear toys. So
totally.
But it's going to be great. And I think having Chris Evans as Buzz is going to be cool. And Taika looks, it does look really funny. So
I didn't even know Taika was going to be in it.
I agree with you, Meg, though. The cat is
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
And I'm a cat person, but that thing is creepy AF.
I'm not a cat person, and I really love that cat. So maybe that's what it is. Morgan, what do you think of the?
No, I think it's going to be good. I think this will be a fun one to go to the theater with the family. I know we're going to enjoy it, and like Eric said, selfishly, I do want to see it. I think it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, hell yeah. Well, we had something else on the rundown, and I put it on there with a question mark, like I am Ron Burgundy. But there's a trailer, and I'm using air quotes for the audio people, trailer on the internet right now for Avatar 2, but don't believe it. It's not a trailer for Avatar 2. It's just footage from the first Avatar talking about being able to rent Avatar on Disney Plus for free on Earth Day. And then it says Avatar 2 at the end, which is like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Did anybody else get fooled like me and we're like, what the hell? Or did you guys get what was going on?
No, I could tell immediately.
Yeah, I caught it for you.
I didn't watch it.
Jesse.
Well, that's it for the rundown. Now, lately we've been doing birthdays, and I mean, it's really crazy. I don't know if this just shows that we have like a lot of talent out there, or if there's like that's how many amazing people are out there. But born on April 22nd, Jack Nicholson, big time guy in our nerd world, and really just anybody's world, because he's just probably one of the all-time greats. Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who's been in your guys'
Negan.
The Walking Dead show.
Yeah.
Negan.
Which, by the way, I'm almost done. We finished, I think, episode 10 or 11 the other day. So
you're all caught up.
we're starting to get caught up here. So, and I actually did start. I did start my homework. I did watch 2 episodes of Boba. So 2 episodes of Boba.
It's like the best. Just do.
Should I just stop there?
I still haven't finished it.
By the way, Jack Nicholson turns 85 today.
Wow.
So I think about where my grandpa was at 88 and think about where he's at. It must be good to be rich. Jeffrey Dean Morgan might be one of the most handsome 56-year-old men out there.
Oh, yeah.
And the other name that's pretty out there right now, especially in the civil trial world, Amber Heard.
Do we throw that name in there?
I know.
Crazy watching some of that stuff. Like, like anybody who's been around a divorce ever knows that nasty stuff goes on, like nasty stuff. And I can't imagine having that nasty stuff be like brought, because you just say stuff to people that you would never say, but you're just so, I don't know. It's
emotional.
Yeah. And it's just tragic. And to have that stuff aired out in front of everybody is just
public is crazy. Yeah. So it's a crazy story. Happy birthday, Amber Heard. She played Mira in Aquaman, so she's in this world. But man, is she a bad person? So happy birthday, Jack Nicholson and Jeffrey Dean Morgan. All right, NRDbox. Now we got some family questions sent in this week. First one I already kind of hinted towards. Banana writes in, I like that Megan is on the show now. So in honor of her and women, she said, this is her words, not mine. Even though I'm not a fan of my own gender, what is your favorite female character? So, but when she likes female characters, she likes the like really smart, like Queen's Gambit type characters. So I wish she would have wrote in what her favorite character is, but I'll think of it before everybody else. So Meg, this one is really dedicated to you. Welcome. And thank you for making a difference on the show.
Oh, thanks for having me. Man, I wish I had a little more prep work for this. So I like the
It
really
doesn't have to
badass
be
women.
in comic book movies either. It could be any.
Right. No, so I'm thinking specifically Zoe Bell. She's a stunt woman and an actress. She was in Death Proof.
Yes.
And with not Rose McGowan.
Rose Byrne.
Nope. The other one from
Rosario Dawson.
Rosario Dawson, yes.
I don't know how you got Rosario Dawson out of Rose, but
Rose, I knew it.
hell of a job there, Morgan.
Thank you.
Well
Thank you.
But man, they were so
You're gonna
bad.
need to be able to guess that vagueness later on.
Yeah.
Those movies where you're just like, you just want them to fight back and do what they're supposed to do. And they just did. And it was so great. Kurt Russell got exactly what was coming to him. And it was so amazing. So I really like her, Zoe Bell.
Okay. It's a good one.
Oh, geez. Harry Potter world, of course. I love Hermione and Professor McGonagall, because she's just amazing in real life and in the movies.
Who's that? Sass bitch.
Was that Emma Thompson?
No, that's
I can never remember her name.
Maggie.
Oh, yeah.
Maggie something.
Maggie Smith.
Yeah, Maggie Smith. Yeah.
And
gosh, I can see her being a
else.
badass. Love her.
Emma Thompson plays Miss Trelawney, Professor Trelawney.
Yeah. Who's the actress that plays the short professor? She's an old chubby lady. She's on the Graham Norton show all the time, and she's hilarious. She might be one of my favorite guests to watch when she's on the Graham Norton show. I'll think of it. I'll look it up. Go ahead, Eric, with your favorite female character.
I go a little. I'm going to go old school as usual. So
why not?
It's actually challenging, and they both come from the same dude. Okay, so James Cameron brought us. I think. Well, I guess Ridley Scott brought her originally, but I'm going to go with Sigourney Weaver's Ellen Ripley. Just Sigourney Weaver just is badass as there is as it is. She's awesome in just about everything she does. So she can. To me, the amazing thing about her is she can dial it, because it seems like some people get kind of typecast into certain things and it's difficult for them to play other roles. Sigourney never had that problem. She could go be a badass Ripley and then go play the love interest in Ghostbusters, and then come back and do other stuff. She could do comedy like she did in Galaxy Quest. So she's so talented. She's so versatile, so I would say her. And then it's a toss up between her and then also Linda Hamilton from Terminator, the Terminator series, and Sarah Connor. Those two are just to me, they're the original female action stars. Those two are the two original action stars. I think that really made it so that, because prior to that, I think it was all dudes. It was always dudes doing the action scenes. It was always dudes that were like the heroes or whatever. And for especially for Sigourney, in 79 or whatever with Alien, it was just amazing. And then amazing. And then same thing with Linda Hamilton, and which her transformation from the first Terminator to Terminator 2, I was like, holy smokes. She literally turned herself into a physical, Terminator, like a human Terminator. She made herself, as buff as she could and as knowledgeable as she could and all that. So those are my two. Sorry, I cheated.
No, all good.
No, it's pretty good.
Mark. Professor Sprout.
She's adorable.
So I narrowed mine down to two, and then I picked one. Right. I did pick one over the other, but I narrowed it down to Ripley and Connor, and I picked Sarah Connor over.
Nice,
yeah. Again, because she's just a complete and total badass, and that transformation she does from the first one to the second is just awesome. And what she is in that second one, she's just great. So I went with her.
Sorry, I didn't mean to steal that.
You're
Sorry, it's just stated one.
And for all the other reasons Eric said.
I was trying to think of who bananas would be and I don't know. I'd rather just kind of actually have her tell me, and then surprise. So, or I can just think about it till next time I see her on Sunday night. Anyway, I really tried to think okay, what female character is my favorite? And my answer is really just anything Zooey Deschanel plays. So that's my favorite female character. Great question, Banana.
I would have thought you said Alias, Jennifer Garner in Alias. I would have thought that.
I really love her in that, and really great show. But I also really love Daenerys Targaryen in the first 6 seasons of Game of Thrones.
Before she was sleeping with
for 7 happened at the end of the season 7.
Right. Yeah.
All the way up till that point, the first 7 seasons of Daenerys Targaryen is.
They didn't have Facebook back then. They didn't know.
When I think about chills, I got chills in Lord of the Rings, a lot, but the most person that gave me the chills was Daenerys Targaryen when she first said Dracarys and lit that guy on fire, and then awesome. The dragon lights the walls up on fire, and behind her, man, that was a badass scene. And then in season 6, I believe, maybe season 7, when she attacks Jaime's army and that dragon comes flying over the cliff or the hill, and the Dothraki are charging, and the look on Jaime's face, and then she says, because that's the first time he had seen a dragon, and then she says Dracarys, and it just lights Jaime's army up. And I remember Banana and I were upstairs. There was a time period where we watched TV upstairs, which is weird, but we were like, oh my gosh, just both of us got chills. So Daenerys Targaryen was a really, really, really great female character, just great character. Got ruined. Ugh. Anyway, Dad writes in. He says, this is his words. Do I have some sort of learning disability? Because I don't even remember the names of the characters once I get to my truck to drive home from the movie, much less the name of the actors playing them. I want to be a bigger nerd. Any suggestions? So first of all, thanks, Dad, for writing in. Love hearing your feedback every week.
Yeah.
How do I tell my dad to be a bigger nerd? I don't know. Let me go to a guy who's been a dad just as long as I have. Actually, longer. So, Eric, any suggestions? Any suggestions for my dad on how to be a bigger nerd?
No. I don't even know. It's a blessing and a curse, I think, at the same time. I'm sure that I could be out learning how to tie knots,
right.
The knots that are useful for things, or how to whittle wood, or actual survival skills in the event that something bad has happened. Instead, I remember the quotes from a 1996 movie that starred, some goofball who's not even, and it's it's useless. It's totally useless knowledge. And I love it. And we all love it,
Right.
it's so I don't know. I always get a laugh about things when you hear the thing where they talk about small minds talk about other people, larger minds talk about ideas and stuff, and I'm thinking to myself, God, I'm small-minded. Where does that even do I fall below the small mind? The knuckle dragging and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I said, Dad, you're fine. I'll just say that you're just fine.
So he says, he's been listening to the games we've been playing. Our recall has to be amazing, as he says, as he's watching these, because he can't even remember the actors or the characters' names. And here we are quoting movies from 40 years ago or whatever. So he was just very impressed by it. And he's like, first of all, I know my dad has like the biggest brain of anybody I've ever met.
Right.
So, stop playing down to your competition there, buddy. Meg, you're a parent. Any suggestions for my parent?
IMDb. Just download IMDb and just read it and research it.
Yeah. All right, Morgan.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things that like he just needs to sit down and start watching some of the Marvel stuff. Like, and if you're kind of not drawn in after a few movies, like I think it's just one of those like
he watches it all. He watches them all.
Okay.
He watches more movies than I do, I think.
I would say at that point, I don't think there really is any more you can do. You know what I mean? It's just one of those. It's not like I sit around practicing to be a nerd or, it just happens for some reason. It sticks with me. But then I will have trouble telling you specific dates of important things. And, I can't remember the stuff that matters.
I mean, really, this podcast was born out of like Banana coming,
It's over.
as we play. No,
I'm going to try and blurt that out. Where are we at? 105. 106 into the
show. We were going into an episode of a series and she said something and I was like, oh, that happened in the second episode of the second season. And she goes, how do you remember that? Like, how does that clock into your head? Why do you know that we're in like season 4? And I'm thinking about, I know it happened in the second episode of the second season, but I like had to go to the army because, I didn't do my homework. Like that's big reason why I had to go to the army. We won't get into that. Anyway, it's a blessing and a curse, and that's what I laughed so hard when you said that.
I remember you used to do that with Lost, like because I had no idea what was going on at any point, and you would say, "Well, what episode is it?" I'm like, I don't even know because I didn't watch it episode to episode. Much like my life now, I just I just go until I can't, and then I stop. But you would remember what episode, what season, and I have no idea how or why.
Yeah, it's because I called in sick one day to watch it.
I did. It drives Stacy crazy. Like when we watch movies together, because I really hate lazy writing. Like it really drives me crazy. And so like halfway through a movie, I go, and she'd be like, did you figure it out? And I'm like, it should be like, what is it? Now you have to tell me, so then I'll tell her. And then, sure enough, 45 minutes later, and she's like, how do you do that? Like, how do you know that? I'm like, because the writers are lazy.
Right.
Like they've dropped, stuff here. So anytime that I'm surprised by something, I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm like, this is awesome. They totally got me.
Yeah.
I think that's what infuriates me about the Walking Dead right now is like it's so formulaic in that they, when we need the tension to be ratcheted up, well, let's drop some walkers in here, and that's what's going to do it, or other stuff. So I don't know. It just bothers me.
Hard to keep those zombie show fresh.
Yeah, well, this is actually pretty good. It's better than I expected. It's better than I expected.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, Dad. Well, just I've watched the Thor trailer 25 times this week. Sorry, Dad, you watched the Thor trailer once and you're good with that. Like I watched the Thor trailer and I need more. I don't. We're not the same there. That's okay because I actually owe a lot of my nerdom to you, though, Dad, getting me into the movies like you did. So thank you. Thank you for everything you've done for me, Dad. Also, Grammy Bradbury. As she's
gonna love to be known as that now.
As she's known by everybody. Grammy Bradbury writes in, if you all work, which I'm pretty sure we all work. If you all work, how do you find time to watch all these movies? So this also plays into a little bit of what Dad just said. From how does he want to be a bigger nerd? Well, you gotta just cut out the news and really start watching more of these movies. But Grammy Bradbury, how do we find time to watch all these movies? Well, I'll start with your daughter. How about you, Meg?
I've been saying 20-minute increments. So like I'll get, my drive home for lunch is about 10 minutes. My drive back 10 minutes. So I've got a little bit of time there on lunch. So I'll watch 20 minutes of a show. And then at the end of the night, while I'm washing my face and brushing my teeth, I'll try to watch a section of a show or whatever. So that Daredevil's taking me a terribly long time to get through because they're 55-minute episodes or whatever. So, that's how I watch the entire Star Wars franchise. Is in 20-minute increments whenever I have, the time. So that's probably also why this.
That's like impressive.
It is. That's commitment.
So impressive. Yeah. How do you not like? I would be like, I can't stop.
It is difficult. Yeah, when there's something that really hooks you. Yeah.
The discipline there is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Eric, you've got 2 kids at home now. One recently moved out, so you've dealt with 3 kids in a house before, which none of us have. How did you ever find time?
Mainly, I just I shirk all of my parental duties and and just leave them to fend for themselves. That's
the way to do it.
Or I just bring them along with me. I burn my candle at both ends. That's what happens is I usually just end up staying up way later than everybody else stays up and, catches stuff. But even I'm not all up to speed, on everything that's out there. Yeah. Like I said, I'm just now watching Boba Fett, which came out in the wintertime around Christmas, New Year's time period. So I'm not up to speed on everything. There's certain stuff that I watch on a weekly basis. Like again, Walking Dead came back in September last year. And I'm just now watching, all of it. So I keep a couple of shows in rotation that I do watch weekly that I just enjoy. And a lot of them are the ones that I do that with are ones that I don't really have to think a lot about, or I need to be really, they're procedurals or other. So like specifically like The Rookie, like I like to watch the show The Rookie. It's a fun show. But it doesn't, it's not really going to stress me out. Like I like, if I don't know all the details of what's happening in the show, it's a fun show to watch. I love the characters. I think, the whole premise of it, of a 40-year-old police rookie, is pretty cool,
Yeah, Nathan Fillion's amazing.
Oh, and Nathan Fillion just makes me laugh no matter what he does, so
smooth.
Yeah, so and the rest of the cast is actually really, really great. And I think that's the part that's really kind of kept me going with the show more than anything, is the supporting cast is just as good. So but it's hard, it's really hard. And so you have to do kind of what Meg's talking about, where you chunk it up. And there are times where I do that, like I'll ride the exercise bike in the morning, and it's like I'll ride the bike for like 40 minutes and I'll watch something, and it's like, hey, I got through 40 minutes, but there's still 20 minutes on the show. So, I'll try and catch the final 20 minutes later on that day, or it might not be till the next day. And so that type of stuff, but you just do what you got to do, and you kind of plow through, and then you prioritize what you really want to see or what you think is important. And then for like the newer stuff, like if I'm going to go to a movie theater for stuff, I don't mind going by myself, which kind of freaks my wife out, because she's like, why would you go to the movies by yourself? And I'm like, I'm going to the movies. Like, it's not like we're going to talk during the movie, so, and so what a lot of the times what I'll do is I'll wait till everybody goes to sleep, and I'll go to like a 10:30 show. Like I'll just go watch a 10 o'clock at night movie. Everybody in the house is already asleep. So what does it matter that I'm there? The dog's here at the house is locked up. We've got, stuff that keeps bad guys out. So I'm pretty confident that things are going to be okay on the home front. So, yeah, you just got to make time and do what you can. Yeah. But a lot of it, like I said, is I just shirk my parental duties. That's the main thing. That's the main takeaway.
Put some newspaper on the floor. bowl of food, they're good to
That's
go.
right. I put some newspaper.
That's all they need.
I had learned that the hard way. Morgan taught me that trick. I had learned that the hard way. I was like, hey, the kid's peeing on the floor. What do I do?
Newspaper.
You told me just put some newspaper.
That's right.
And I was like, okay.
Works every time.
Yeah.
Isn't Big Daddy?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
He's
Morgan,
newspaper to clean up.
You got any other secrets on how to be a nerd?
Watch more? No.
Yeah.
I mean, working from home does help because stuff that like that stuff that you want to see, but you don't have to pay too close attention to. Like I watched DC's Legends of Tomorrow. I really like it for some reason. It's not like it's good, but I like it. But that's something that while I'm working, I can just have it on in the background. I don't need to pay too close attention to it. Work done. It's just there. So I'm kind of doing both. And, or, just the classic watching on your phone in minutes and, you're brushing your teeth.
The bathroom break.
I'm like, come on.
Bathroom break.
Your bathroom break.
25 minutes. Well, this episode's almost over.
Your bathroom break that takes an hour now.
That's a dad bathroom.
You finally know you have to stop when your legs go numb. You're like, oh, I better
It's gonna suck to stand up.
Yeah, you're like, here we go. That's what
your wife keeps buying you Metamucil because she thinks she got a problem. You're like, all right.
That's how it is. That's how you do it.
Yeah. Well, all I'm hearing is you guys don't know how to compromise. That's all I'm hearing. As I and my banana have marital contracts. It's give and take relationship. It's give and take world. You got to give a little and take a little. Well, I don't get how
that's what she said.
Give and get. That's what I meant to say. Give and get. Give and take world. That's doesn't make sense here. But give and get. You have to give a little to get a little. Sometimes you just got to have 3 seasons of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette and Bachelor in Paradise to watch a Marvel show. So there's some compromise in there. Also, not sleeping helps. Yeah. So most nerds are night owls, and we stay up later than most and can wake up with bags under eyes still, but it's okay because we're doing that and do the dishes a lot. That's another way to get some good nerd stuff in. So just wash those dishes and watch the nerd.
Yeah, that's true because we've recently cut out bottles and I don't wash, the bottles as much now, and I don't have that, 15 minutes to wash bottles.
Oh my God, but it's so nice not to have to wash bottles anymore.
Really is.
Oh my God. I do not miss that aspect, that part of having a baby. Great questions, family. Thank you, everybody. Banana Dad, Grammy, Bradbury. So write in your NRDbox questions if you have anything you want us to theory craft about, or if you need to know how to be a bigger nerd, we can obviously give you a lot of tips on that. So we thank you guys for writing in. Now we're gonna go jump on the presents. Morgan and Megan really collabed on a game this past week, and I'm very excited to play it. We each have a decade. We each have a decade full of movies that we're going to pull from, where we're going to read a synopsis of the movie, and it'll work kind of like our games that Meg has created in the past. So excited for that. Thank you guys for your takes tonight. You guys made me laugh. Really. Eric, this is an all-time episode for you. Like the hot or the fire ass takes that you had tonight were I was counting in my head, and you had 90.
Thanks, dude.
Hats off to you, my friend. That being said, we'll see you all next week on the Nerd Rundown.
Deuces.
See you. Bye.
Bye.